Thank you, everybody, and welcome to our weekly Soul Changes Lives webinar. My name is Debbie Perez-Cockburn. I am the moderator for this discussion this week. I happen to be the mentor of this group as well. Happy to have you with us every week. The opinions that we express on this weekly webinar are certainly our own opinions. They are not medical. We are not doctors. We don't prefer to be called doctors or anything like that. Okay, so we don't treat diseases, but we do offer amazing natural health information that can help you. And certainly there are members on this panel who are working on their certified natural health professional degrees. But like I said, we are not board certified doctors, so we do not treat disease. And we just like to talk about natural health. This week, we are talking about a product that I absolutely adore. And we are going to be talking about a product that is included in our 4-month to Better Health program. And it is called SolleVital. And just a quick review, we're talking about this program this month on all of our webinars. So we're talking about package number 3. We're talking about this little product right here, SolleVital. And I apologize, I don't have a box handy to show you because I was on another meeting and jumped off quickly and didn't get the box ready for you, but you kind of get the idea. We're gonna be talking about SolleVital. What we do on this weekly webinars, we love to have a personal testimonial. Then we have a product section, which is, that discussion is led by our good friend. He is the president of Soul Naturals and one of its founders, Mr. Greg Halliday, who is with us every week. And then we try to do a quick section called How Does Your Soul Shine, or How Bright Does Your Soul Shine, where we give a couple of health related tips. So with having said that, I'm going to turn the time over to my friend Gwen Jenkins, who has our testimonial this week. Gwen, if you'll just turn on your mic.
Yes, thank you. Well, here I am again, but I had such a great testimony from the other day. Okay, so I got up in the morning and I was doing fine, and then all of a sudden my big toe, my left big toe just started really hurting, and I couldn't put any pressure on it. It was excruciating pain. And I remembered that Debbie had said something to me or talked to me about SolleFlex PI, and I had it, but I hadn't taken it since the 4-month program because I've been off of that for a couple of months. So I had some left over and I said, I have some of that SolleFlex PI. I'm going to try it. And I was watching the clock because I wanted to see if it worked, how long it was going to take for it to work. Not that I doubted that it would work. I never doubted, but you know, I didn't know how long that it would take for it to work. Here it is right here, SolleFlex PI. Can you see that? Okay, so I only took 2 of them. And in 5 minutes, I was watching the clock. In 5 minutes, the pain was gone completely and it didn't come back. I was so happy about that because my toe had been killing me. It was really amazing. And I was going to do another little testimony about this balance, but I'll save it for another time because one of my, a person that I signed up last week, she ordered this and she called and told me, I just really love it. And I'll tell you what she said next time.
Hey, that's awesome, Gwen. I love that testimonial because I think everybody certainly is different, right? Every single body is a universe unto itself. And so what happens with Gwen may not be typical with what would happen with Joanne per se, right? Or with me. So I don't know that everyone will have that result of 5 minutes relief, but that's amazing, Gwen. Thank you so much for sharing that.
It was amazing. I was amazed by that.
I bet.
Welcome. That was really like.
For me, it takes me a little bit longer than 5 minutes. I think my digestion might be a little slower than yours. So that's why I take my SolleFlex PI with my enzymes. But I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that testimonial, Gwen. So this,
I ordered 2 bottles in my auto ship.
Oh, you ordered 2?
2 bottles, so I can share.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. All right, then. So this week I asked Greg to concentrate his comments this week on this wonderful product called SolleVital. It is vital to our health every day, and that's why it's included in the 4-month program. It is an active part of the first month of this program. It is also one of the 4 foundational drinks at Solle. I love that because a lot of companies have maybe one flagship product or one thing that they focus on. With Solle, for those of you who are new or watching this video for the very first time and don't know anything about Solle, Solle is a natural supplement product, and all of our products are based on adaptogenic herbs and have also amazing additional herbs with them. But one of the things that certainly piqued my interest when I joined the company 8 years ago was the use of this product. And I have to say that when I started with the company, the very first product that I tasted was SolleVital. And I have to say that it wasn't my favorite. It was an acquired flavor, but the more my body needed it, the more I enjoyed it. And that was really interesting too. So we can talk about that after Greg's part. But I asked Greg if he would tell us why SolleVital, what's the secret sauce behind SolleVital? SolleVital is really divided into 3 different groups of products. And so I wanted Greg to focus on that today and just kind of tell us what the thinking was behind this, because there are other companies out there that have chlorophyll available to you in a liquid form. This is more than just chlorophyll. This is more than adaptogenic herbs. This has got so much nutrition. It's so packed, so dense with nutrition and vitamins and minerals and amino acids. It's fabulous. And I think that you will truly be convinced after this discussion that the name really suits the product. So Greg, take it away.
Thank you, Deb. And I want to apologize to everybody for being a few minutes late. I don't normally, there was a Zoom that I don't normally get on, that I was asked to be on. And so I was trying to get the part that I presented done as quickly as I could. And I apologize for being a few minutes late, but hopefully my hope is that this review into SolleVital and what's in it, I think it'll be worth everyone's time. It's meant to be a product that can easily be used daily. And it includes elements that in our day and age, and with what we have readily available to us for nutrition, and let's just say the lifestyle that we pretty much, we sort of have to deal with. We don't always get to choose, do we? All the different, let's just say, societal forces that can be kind of stressful at times, to say the least. That's just our time. We don't always pick our time, do we? And so this product was designed for this, to replenish things that get depleted quickly, and that we believe almost everybody just runs generally in a depleted state. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Okay, so you can see there's 3 groups of herbs in this. There are 14 herbs in SolleVital. One group is what we call the prime chlorophyll blend, and that's chlorophyll from 4 different sources. The next one is plant trace mineral blend. And the last one is these 6 adaptogens that were the core behind Adaptable, the capsule product that Donna, if you've ever seen her story, she was kind enough to put it on a video recently and share it. And they're kind of central to everything. So let's just look at these 3 groups. So one way that we described them was that SolleVital is there to protect your core. So the core would be heart, lungs, vital organs, digestion, okay, those core functions that have to happen every day or ongoing, for life. Protect that. What we're saying is that stress actually runs it down, and a lot of chronic conditions could trace back to that. And depleted nutrition actually traces back to a lot of these stressful conditions that are all these really core problems that are the major health problems in the United States, and I would say in the world too. So When we talk about core, we're focusing on these areas with SolleVital. Originally, we were really positioning as a heart product. That sometimes comes as a surprise for people. Why do we show this slide? Now I'm pulling these from some early slides from Dr. Allison because, oh, there's some great information here. How many knew that your heart actually secretes a hormone? Is anybody else like me when I read this went, what? The heart, what? Yes, absolutely. There are hormones produced by the heart, and look what they had an effect on. Pancreatic cancer, breast cancer. How big are these problems in today's day and age? I mean, pancreatic, all blood things related to blood sugar, and yet here you have heart health. It's also related to that. And the point for this is that it's all interconnected. So that's why we talk so much about balance. You can't just fix one thing and not fix the other things that are connected and get any result, because we got the heart producing hormones. Okay, just as an example. Okay, here's another one. Immune system chronically weakened. Why? Lots of sugar, lots of toxins, chemicals, toxins, chemicals, process altered, okay? Those all weaken immunity, and stress, the quickest weakener to immunity, well, let's just say. So whatever we do every day, it actually does need to feed the immune system, not just like before the fall when we know flu season's coming, or just, you know what I mean, or during a pandemic. It's Dr. Allison likes to say the best time to plant an oak tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is today. That's a good principle for the immune system. So how do we attack it with SolleVital then? Well, it starts with these four: alfalfa, spinach, nettle, and mulberry. They're four very, very amazing sources of chlorophyll. Where chlorophyll comes from is important. Chlorophyll isn't chlorophyll, meaning like we can't just say it doesn't matter where you get it. It's the green stuff in plants and you just get it. It actually isn't that way in reality. When you extract it, it carries with it plant components. It does. It doesn't, you can't separate it. And so how you get it and in what variety makes a difference to the chlorophyll's performance and other factors. So I'll give you an example. Alfalfa, when you extract chlorophyll, you still have 7 or 8% of these other components of alfalfa in there. So that's why we have 4 different sources, because we're all a little bit different. Like Debbie says, we're all kind of in a sense, a universe unto ourselves, in that we have different things going on, emotionally and physically. So a variety really improves our odds. Second, it's in a powder. Chlorophyll is one of the quickest things to degrade once you put it in water. In 48 hours, it's about 9 or 10% what it is when you extract it into a powder. So you just have to take a lot more if you're going to take it in another form. In a powder form, and that's why people who have used it, and I was that way, who had used it in liquid, and then will start using it in the powder, realize it's a lot of things are changing that didn't, like additional things. Well, that's just because you're getting a lot more of it, a lot more. And why is that important? Okay, toxins, how it binds to toxins, alkalizing, acid, which is caused by chemicals and sugar and stress. Chlorophyll will alkalize it. There's an innumerable list of things that chlorophyll does, and because it is the most common, I don't know, it might be one of the most common colors, right, in the world, green, this chlorophyll, it's part of all these plants, okay? It's absolutely essential, and in the dose that's necessary. If you got to take 3 or 4 packets because of what you're doing right now, you can take them. Okay, it's designed to be that way. A lot of times you don't need to, but if you do, matching the nutrition for the need is the principle that we all have to learn for ourselves, because our body's going to be different than everybody else. We can get some good guidance, but we got to learn it for ourselves. So Here's a 2005, green vegetables may decrease colon cancer because chlorophyll prevents detrimental cytotoxic and hyperproliferative colonic effects of dietary heme. So from meats, right? So in other words, chlorophyll is a huge protector. This is just one study on one element, but we could give you the list. Abnormal cells, yes. Blood, a healthier, more balanced blood, yes. Digestion, yes. There's really not an area of key function in the body physiologically that chlorophyll doesn't help. And that's why it's a huge part of SolleVital. It's 1/3 of it, right? Is the SolleVital. So I'm sorry, that was a story of my daughter. That's interesting. Okay, I hadn't seen that in a while. I just pulled these slides out. She had an issue. She had warts. She started taking SolleVital. She didn't even tell us. She was 12 when the company started and started drinking. And she was intuitive enough to drink more, because it felt good. She didn't love the flavor, but she liked, what she started to feel. And in 1 week it went away. And so the reason we found out about it is because she was asking to bring some to school. We're like, whoa, wait, I think we might get in trouble if you're passing these out in your elementary school. People don't know what this is. But SolleVital there's a huge broad array. There's probably not anything that it can't help. That's why it's core. That's why it's part of initial balance. It's definitely designed to be every day. Now, the second part we come to is, we say enlivening your body, but that's all about communication, cell communication, body system communication, nervous system communication. Minerals are the building blocks, and we're all low in them. I mean, I think I'm pretty safe to say that. Sometimes we take them and we don't absorb them because they come in a lot of different forms. Stress, physical effort depletes minerals for some people really quickly, other people a little more slowly. But I don't think we always think of mental stress, how much that ends up leaving us depleted as well. Minerals are just something that if we make a concerted effort to add them to our diet every day, we're going to feel better. They're that broad in what they do. And here's a picture of the 4 minerals in Vital. The oat straw, which the seed from Avena sativa, and it's actually an extract. The leaf of nettle, dandelion, and burdock. So you can see lung health and kidney health and heart health and nervous system health, brain health in these 4, because not only are they super high in minerals with a nice variety of trace minerals, but they also have other compounds that help balance those vital organs. And so again, I'm a firm believer when you get minerals in the form of plants, the body does a lot with a little, and we absorb most of it. Whereas when we try to take sort of, I guess I want to call them processed mineral formulas, there's an amount that we absorb, and then there's a whole big amount that just goes right through us. And that's why they need to be so loaded, these other, and it's my opinion anyway, these other forms, because they know you're not going to absorb that much of it. Whereas in plants, people can think, well, am I getting enough? Well, the proof's going to be in what you see change. So heart, lungs, nervous system, these are 3 areas where you'll see a significant change if you use enough SolleVital. So it might be 1 a day for you. It might be 2. If you're pretty depleted, there might be an AM right when you get up and an early afternoon. You have to kind of try the amount that makes sense for you and trust your body. Like Debbie says, your body, once it gets accustomed, it knows what this is, it's going to basically tell you how much to drink. And so it's an easy one. And here the last part of SolleVital is energizing our mood. That's the way we talked about it when we first launched it. And we do this by amazing adaptogens. Adaptogens are metabolic regulators. That's what they are. The process of creating energy. Energy affects mood so directly, it affects everything. So if we can normalize and have our energy created the way it's supposed to be, not stimulate it into a high and a low, but just feed it, we change everything. And adaptogens have that unique property that if we're hyper and accelerated, it dials it back. If it's bogged down, it stimulates it and elevates it. Why? Because adaptogens have these components. That's what qualifies them as an adaptogen. They have so many broad components that you'll see components on either side of imbalance. You know, if an overuse is imbalance and underuse is imbalance, you'll see that. And so like nopal cactus is a great example. That's in Cinemate. That's not SolleVital, but I like to use it because Dr. Maria Fernandez showed that nopal cactus has compounds that lower your sugar levels in the blood and other compounds that raise them. It has both. That's why it's an adaptogen. So all these adaptogens are like that when it comes to energy. Some people take them and they'll go, I used ashwagandha. Why? Because I have better energy. And other people go, I use ashwagandha to calm down. What the body lacks and needs, an adaptogen, since it has both, they're broad enough, and they're also in the Chinese category of superior herbs, which means safe for daily use. So what does that mean? You can take enough. You find the amount that you need, and you can take enough. And that's what we found with Donna, with Adaptable. That's why we extracted amounts and we increased until we got the amount. But yes, sustained energy, modulated immunity. Modulated means you have an overactive immune system attacking itself. Adaptogens still can help. People sometimes they think, oh, I can't take an adaptogen. I can't spark my immunity any more than it already is. It's causing me problems. That's not what an adaptogen does. That's what other herbs that are immune enhancing herbs do, but not an adaptogen. So it's a pretty amazing thing. I love this book, Adaptogens, Herbs for Strength, Stamina, and Stress Relief. I've shared it a lot. What are these two scientists have done probably more of the studies that I've seen quoted by Dr. Allison. Anti-fatigue effects, tolerating mental, not just physical exhaustion, mental exhaustion. How we deal with stress without getting overwhelmed is, to me, the story of adaptogens. Again, we got to take enough of them. So at times we're going to take a lot of extra. At other times you're going to back right down. Your body will tell you. If you have a good product, it's going to feel what it brings to you, and you can raise it and lower it according to your needs. But I just encourage you to keep it some point regular. SolleVital is meant to be a daily. Keep it regular. Some things need to be part of our daily diet. And SolleVital is one of them because it's not an overly high amount of them. Enhanced attention too, and then look at your neuroprotective effects. That's the other defining characteristic of adaptogens. They're protectors too. Anxiety, depression, anything to do with learning, cognition, and memory. And that's a telltale sign. Very often when you see an herb and you're going, well, I didn't know that did that. And when it comes into the area of metabolism and emotional balance and cognitive balance, it may be an adaptogen, that herb, if you see if there are studies that show effectiveness in it. So these are the 6 adaptogens that are in SolleVital. They are among the most studied and the most cultivated and really the most revered. There's so much history with these, and you'll notice we selected a really colorful balance, because I remember when people like Joanne used to say, put a lot of color on your plate, Greg, when I first started in herbs. You want to be healthy? Put a variety of color on your plate of plants. You have lots of color on your plate with these adaptogens. They're all different, and they all do very important things. I'll just show you one quick slide of each, okay? And then we can kind of wrap up today. Eleuthero, Siberian ginseng. Look at just those last 2 points on the slide. Significant antidepressant, pretty compelling studies. And we don't, I hate to say, it sounds weird for me to say this, but those studies aren't all that big a deal to me anymore, because we've now for more than a decade been using them ourselves. And Donna, firsthand, my wife, experienced that. Look at the final point, withdrawal symptoms. how many issues of health today are related to some type of addiction? It's an interesting statement to ponder, isn't it? How many of the health challenges are related to a type of addiction? So if I can get help by filling gaps, nutritional gaps, so my body doesn't crave the addiction as much, I can really then believe I can make change. And that's why, in my opinion, Eleuthero is, sometimes we call Eleuthero the king of adaptogens. I don't know. I don't know if you can call one of them a king, but maybe it is, because it's just one of the best with that. Cassandra is another one. It's one of my great examples of balance, because it's called the five flavors berry, because it has all these flavors: salty, sweet, sour, pungent, bitter. And think about what that means, the components and nutrients that produce those and the different roles that they play in health. I'm really philosophical about that, because I just believe in balance and the value of this variety created in nature. Now, they've studied schizandra now. It's a wonderful liver protector. I think there are studies with kidneys as well. Lots of studies with anxiety and depression, and just the ability to have more stamina. So that one study was physical working capacity, just more stamina, physical and mental. So schizandra is another really key adaptogen. And what we did with these is we concentrated them in different levels, because they all have little different properties. And that was what we experimented with when we first formed the formula 10 years ago. And so that story of my wife using it and myself, that was based on the concentrations, getting them to a level where we felt good and she felt good. Astragalus is talked a lot about with the immune system. But here again, like with every true adaptogen, you'll always see some study with blood sugar. Why? Metabolic regulators. They deal with the way we absorb and create energy. And it's also one, I like the studies about healing. So the body's reaction to damage or stress and the ability to bounce back, I guess you would say that's one of the key benefits of astragalus. Jalgalan is one that I did not know about until Soll. And it actually was originally described as a survival food. They started to study it for sugar, as a sugar substance, because it happens to be pretty sweet. Its nickname in that part of the world, immortality herb, just because, again, it's amazing, you balance the organs and body processes, and we really do slow down aging, because we stay healthy, but we don't let things get beyond, I don't know, the point where we get bigger problems. So Jalgalan is studies on immune support, endurance, blood pressure, heart. It's a wonderful heart plant as well. One of the things we learned about it after Soll was that high altitude, it's a really good blood oxygenator, and because you don't have altitude sickness with it. I did not know that until I had actually hiked a mountain around here that's, it's about 12,000 feet. And I always got sick in the top part. I'd have to hurry and get up there and turn around and get down because I'd get sick. Ever since I was a kid, that's because this is where we lived. And I brought SolleVital with me the year that we launched it. And I drank several SolleVital and I noticed I wasn't sick. Well, that night I happened to have Dr. Allison was sharing about Jalgalan, that there are two of the adaptogens that actually they've studied for altitude sickness and what they do. So yes, there's lots of interesting components to all these. Second to last one is ashwagandha. I mentioned a little bit about it, but look at ashwagandha. It keeps overactive nerves from firing. In terms of Alzheimer's, there's a study that shows it reversed the behavioral deficits and pathology. It deals with pain inhibition, and it's one of those that gets better the longer you use it. I think that's why I think all wonderful herbs that are like superior herbs are meant to be a daily nutrition, and they do some good immediately, but they build. The body's able to do more as it realize it gets this great constant supply of nutrients that it needs to correct and to balance. And that's what ashwagandha to me it does. And the final one is rhodiola. This is one that's super high altitude, Siberia growing, like Raponticum, which is another one we have in Renew that grows way up north. Actually, we have a number of those at Soul. Our D3 comes from a lichen that grows in the entire Arctic zone around the world. It's amazing when you get these plants in really harsh conditions, what wonderful therapeutic effects they have, and particularly adaptogens, because they are balanced. So yeah, they used it for fatigue. They used it for antidepressant. It's antimicrobial and hormone balance. All of these have been studies of rhodiola. And so that's a nice little, I don't know, a little walk down the ingredient aisle of SolleVital. I love it. It makes me think. And every time I go through it, I think of myself, family, and people. And hopefully Vital is really, even really little kids, oh, it's something that early on can make a big difference. They'll often, if you prepare it cold, most kids will like it and they'll ask for it. And it's something I do before any kind of physical activity. I'd much rather have the SolleVital in me if I'm going to go run or bike or whatever I'm going to do for exercise that day. Or same thing if I just feel weighed down. We've had a bunch of fire smoke because of those poor Californians. They've been through enough this year, lots of fires, and you got Oregon fires, and that smoke is blown all over Utah. And it's just been so hazy. You couldn't even see our mountains. If you've been out here, you know how close our mountains are to it. You couldn't even see them. It was that thick. And you know what? It's funny, like Debbie said, I'd crave another SolleVital. You know what? Yeah. Well, why? I think we know, right? That chlorophyll in those plants help detox. They absolutely help lungs. I noticed it within 20 minutes. Not quite 5 minutes, Gwen, but within 20, I'll notice my lungs. It's a very quick effect for me. So,
well, I know, Greg, that in the past you've talked about how SolleVital helped your dad with his heart before.
Yeah, SolleVital and Excel. He mixed those
Excel, and how it helped you with asthma.
Yeah, I don't even have an inhaler because it expired. Once we founded Soul. I'd always keep one for just rare occasions. With the other company, with the herbs, I was able to rarely use my inhaler from using it all summer and into the fall. And ever since the adaptogens, that one final step I've been able to take, don't even have one. Yeah, because Vital, I know that if my lungs get just a little bit tight, if I ever get something in a situation like that, I'll just drink a Vital. 20 minutes later, loosen right up. Yeah.
Yeah, I know for me lately, you've heard me apologize for, I don't know how many weeks in a row about the boxes behind me. My sweet friend, Christy Malone said, don't ever apologize for the boxes because you're building your dream home. So those boxes symbolize a lot of joy in your life. And my husband reminded me of that last night. It was really interesting because I tend to feel overwhelmed with things because I like to plan and I like to be a help, to him. And so yesterday, I think I was really feeling it. And it really reminded me of how important SolleVital is to me. Lately, I've told you that I've been not really doing the Soul Bomb, but I've been preparing my 64-ounce jug twice a day with a Vital, an Excel, and a Renew. And I take that 2 times a day. And the days that I don't do it because we've been under a lot of stress and duress lately, we're starting the loan building process for building our home, and we're moving things into the storage. And I'm kind of excited and a little worried about living in our luxury trailer and what all that entails. And my husband just said, you're not focusing on the happy things right now. Just focus on the happy things. Don't let it all overwhelm you. And I noticed that yesterday I hadn't really even hydrated. And so SolleVital, for me, the name implies it all. It is vital. And all of us should be drinking it daily. And this is a product that I love because children under the age of 1 can use SolleVital. So you can put a little bottle of Vital in a baby's hands, and they will drink it all day long. I've seen it. And if you haven't seen it, go back and look at Lydia's Facebook page and see her little grandson drinking it out of his sippy cup and how much he enjoys it. SolleVital is a product that's really going to help. What I love the most about this product, Greg, and most people don't realize, and it really reminded me, that's why I love when we review the products in these webinars, is that rhodiola really helps the body increase the amount of GABA, G-A-B-A, that it produces. When your body is running low, when your brain is really running low on GABA, you can't sleep. And if you can't sleep, you are now anxious the next day, and you get grumpy and you get tired, and it really does affect your energy levels, your metabolism. And so I love at nighttime, if I have had a particularly stressful day, and I know it because I just feel that lull in my head, I will drink it with a Renew and sleep like a log. I love it. Why? Because it's replenishing my body's levels of GABA, and that really helps me sleep. Another benefit of taking it at nighttime with your Renew, and some people will say, oh, Debbie, but how could you take it at nighttime? It will wake you up. Well, you know what? Your body knows what it needs to do when it needs to do it. And if it needs it and you're craving it, drink it. Because the other thing is that I know that when I get kind of low like that and I'm not hydrating, or I'm not, there's a difference between drinking a lot of water and drinking enough nutrition to keep your mineral levels up. You feel it because your body, your muscles start to cramp at night. That's where you get those Charlie horse at night or during the day. And so I've noticed that if I've had a really stressful day in the morning, I'll get that Charlie horse, and it meant I didn't take my SolleVital with my Renew the night before. And so I get to feel the difference. So I'm just sharing this, and we're going to wrap it up now. I'm just sharing this because really your body knows. Thank you so much, Greg. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Deb, I'm
Yes.
sorry. Can I add, you made me think of one thing. Can I add one little thing?
Please do.
You know, on your mineral comment, because Vital has a pretty good amount of trace minerals, but if you have a special need like that's more significant, longevity,
Yes,
that's the one I would add to Vital. If you know it's a mineral issue, do the level of add longevity capsules to the Vital and try what Debbie says, because with that we're able to concentrate and get a bunch more still in plant in a greater amount than what we put in SolleVital. So you can take multiple packets of Vital, but I don't know that you need to. You could do Vital and longevity.
Yeah. And I noticed, see, it's been so crazy. I've been trying to pack and get ready for a webinar and do things. I noticed yesterday I hadn't taken my longevity, and I take 3 a day. I take 2 in the morning and 1 at nighttime with my Renew, and my so the ones that I take during the day I take with my SolleVital. But anyway, oh my gosh, did you guys have fun today? Because I loved this discussion. So you can make your soul shine brighter by adding longevity to your daily routine and taking your SolleVital. I love the 4-month to health program. And you're certainly welcome to choose however you want to take the product. That's how I choose to take it. That's how I've shared it. And that's how it's made a big impact on a lot of my customers' lives. I know that most of you have tried it that way as well. And I really appreciate you. And I thank you all for being with us every week. I sure love you. Thanks again for being here. Gwen, thank you for sharing that awesome testimonial. And Greg, thank you for sharing that information. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Greg.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.